Welcome, Luminary. With our solstice yesterday, it is truly a time of reflection. In this last teaching episode of 2021, I want to share with you a really mindful and easeful way of reflection so that we can truly be grateful for all of the things that we have created in this year. And as we look forward into 2022, we can now choose and decide what we want to bring in that aligns with our new sense of values and aligns with the new sustainable ways of working and living that we will build in our business for growth and expansion in 2022. So please join me with this reflection, gratitude, and year-end review. Welcome to the Savvy Luminary podcast, Astrology for Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Leslie Tagorda, creator of the Astrobrand Method, business astrologer, brand designer, author, and Aquarius boss woman. I help visionary spiritual entrepreneurs and impact makers like you illuminate and amplify your unique star powers so you can be the luminary you were born to be. All right, Luminary, here we are. I am so freaking excited. I am recording this about an hour after I just finished my last big hurrah. I'm recording this on Solstice Day, December 21st on a Tuesday, right after I finished my ceremony co-hosted with Colette Barron-Reed. And I just want to share just all the things and how this is such a beautiful culmination. Now, this is the very last podcast episode that I'm recording. I pre-recorded the 2022, the Starcast that's coming out on Sunday. I pre-recorded that yesterday, but I really, really, really wanted to save recording this gratitude and reflection episode for after the full culmination of my ceremony with Colette Barron-Reed. If you've been following me on Facebook or Instagram, I've been sharing a few stories about kind of pinch me and this idea of having this disbelief of being able to share a stage, a platform with Colette Barron-Reed, someone who is such a radiant superstar in her field, and my gratitude how she and I have developed a little friendship over the year over this shared love of being spiritual and working on both our shadows and our light so that we can become our highest true essence of ourselves. I know, a lot of words, but it's just been such a beautiful thing to unfold. And you might have just come into my world from Colette Barron-Reed or come into my world very recently and seeing all of the highlights of what I have worked so hard, worked for over 47 years to get to. Now, my entrepreneurship journey has been long. It's been full of failures and miseries and ups and downs. But what this really is that when I started to use astrology in my business and I changed my business model, essentially creating a brand new business, I only started really bringing in astrology as a strategic planning tool in my business in 2018. Now, if we think about 2018, I essentially started a brand new business since 2018, and we're knocking on the door of 2022. So this is not even a complete 4 years where my life and my business and my sense of purpose and my radiance, my inner glow and my inner shine has really come to this place of its natural state. For so long, I stayed hidden. I isolated myself. I didn't feel worthy. I stayed stuck really in so many of the things that we work on in our spiritual journey. And I'll be talking a lot about our spiritual journey that us entrepreneurs take in 2022. But I just want to say that if you've come to me now and you've seen the highlights, you see this glowing, bright person that I just love who I have evolved into. For a long time on my journey, I have not been this way. So today just feels like this amazing culmination of all of the pieces coming together. So I was sharing that with this event with Colette Baron Reed, when she first invited me, I knew that I was going to be invited into something really big, that I was going to have to really step into this place. And instead of running away from the possibility of, 12,000 people showing up, or, like generally, you already know if you've done a webinar that you have X amount of people show up, and then you have a percent of X number of people sign up, and then you have a Y percentage of showing up. And it's great. So, but everything with Colette is like expanded. So while I'm used to my ceremonies, maybe bringing in for registrants, maybe 50 people and having, 30 people show up, everything is like times X with Colette, where, we had 12,000 people sign up. And at the height of it, I was watching the numbers just because I'm curious. There was like 3,800 people who showed up to experience in community this beautiful celebration of solstice, this cleansing time where we are befriending the darkness, and we are knowing that the darkness is a place where magic happens, where we can put in all of the things that we want to leave behind, and it serves as that kind of nourishment in that place of mystery, so that as the light expands after our winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, that our belief can grow so that we can step into 2022. But why this felt like just such a sense, why this experience with Colette felt like such a sense of arrival, was because it was such a natural state of being for me, a state of being that it took me a really long time to reveal, because it took me that long. And I'm not kind of like judging myself. So just, it took me so long because I was afraid. I was afraid of doing the big, scary things. I didn't feel worthy of receiving. And so as I did my work over the last decades, I finally am getting to this place where I'm still asking myself, how much more am I able to hold? How much more am I able to receive? How many things, how many much more scarier things can I practice and approach so that I can get on the other side of fear to that place of joy? Because this natural place of state of being for me and doing what I love that just is so natural for me are four things. It's about co-creating and sharing a stage with someone that I love and respect, so that I can show up as my true self, radiating my own shine. And Colette and her amazing team allowed me to show up and to share that stage. Like, that is just, it's so wonderful. Like, I don't have to be the captain. I love being the navigator. I just want to like stand by somebody's side and say like, hey, that's where you want to go. Let's try this. The other thing that I love to do is I love to share and teach with others the energy of the stars and the cosmos, especially on a most sacred day like today with the winter solstice. The other thing that I love to do, besides just sharing information, it's not just to teach, but it's to inspire others to bring in more of their own light, not by spiritual bypassing, but validating and accepting and surrendering to our own pieces of that darkness. Because I was reminded earlier when I was scrolling social media with my favorite collaborators, when I was reading Sharon Eskandani's post, she reminded us that on the solstice, that we have no light without the dark. We have no concept of what happiness and joy is unless we have gone through the darkness of sadness and isolation. And this is a human experience. We all experience this. So my heart is like just beyond full right now. I am so grateful for all the learning lessons that took me only 47 years to get to this place, because I realized that it doesn't matter when you get there, it only matters that you get there, and that the earlier you start on facing your shadows and accepting them and becoming friends with them, the earlier you'll get to that place of true being. And I'm so grateful for all of the inner work that I have done and that I will continue to do, because this is how we stretch. This is how we grow, by constantly pushing that boundary of doing our own inner work. And I'm so grateful for this beautiful community, you Luminary, where you are listening, where we are supporting each other, where we are offering advice and support with love and kindness. And I'm so grateful for the people that I call my inner circle, those friends and family members that open-heartedly connect me to other powerful luminaries, because we're coming into this place of co-creation. It has been so eminent that we come together to build for sustainability, to build for longevity. Everything in the stars is showing that that is the direction that we are headed in 2022. So for me to end this year on this beautiful high note is truly a gift. And I just want to thank you so much for being part of it, Luminary. So during the ceremony, I offered some affirmations for people based on the element of their sun sign. Now, you choose the one that works for you, but I'd like to offer this here, even though you'll be listening to this, the day after solstice. It's not too late if you want to affirm, take action, and plant a mantra for your 2022. After I share that, then I'm going to share you a few more things of how you can reflect back on 2021. And I'll be sharing with you my year-end review to look at all the things that I have grown into and all of the things that I have fallen away from in 2021. So first, our solstice affirmations. For my fire luminaries, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, your affirmation for this change of season is, I am at peace with myself. You are here. Your action for this solstice is to give to the dark of the solstice your past resentments so you can create light for your worthiness. Your mantra, fire sign luminaries, is harmony. Now, for my earth luminaries, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, your affirmation for this powerful solstice is, you powerfully speak your truth. So your affirmation, I powerfully speak my truth. Because the action, what you're going to be giving into the solstice, this solstice, is that you are giving to the dark your silence. You stayed silent for far too long. You need to create light for your voice so that you can speak your truth. Your mantra for the solstice in 2022, truth. For our air luminaries, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, your affirmation, I easily say no. And I invite you to take this action as you honor the solstice. I give to the dark, my people pleasing, to create light for my freedom. Your mantra, air signs, freedom. Last but not least, my water luminaries, all my sensitive Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces luminaries, I invite you into your affirmation. I unconditionally love myself. Your action for this solstice is to give to the darkness your self-loathing so that you can create light for your true radiance. Your mantra, forgiveness. I have a sense that the forgiveness that you must offer is towards yourself. Oh, luminaries, I hope you have such a blessed solstice. So let's dive in to a way of gratitude and reflection for our year-end roundup. I'll be sharing just kind of everything that I was able to accomplish. And of course, I want you to remember that I'm not accomplishing this alone at all. I'm accomplishing all of these things because I have built a beautiful team. Of course, I have to dedicate and thank so much to Jeff Campaniero, my right-hand man, who is just like works brilliantly at executing my vision. There's no way that this business could exist without Jeff. And most recently, we've brought in a brilliant copywriter and copy editor who is just able to tap into my inner knowing and use my voice and really share her gift of communicating. And she started back in November, and you might see her writing in a few of our upcoming business starcasts. And she's been working at the storm with editing. And you might have noticed that emails from us have gotten to be turned on a little bit after we've been silent for so long. Well, that is all because of Crystal Duan, my young and brilliant copywriter. So thank you, Jeff and Crystal, for helping support me with doing all of these things this year. So I'll be sharing some of the statistics of what we were able to accomplish in my business in this year. But as you're thinking about this, please, please, please do not compare. Right? I want to offer these as this place of inspiration where where I'm tracking and I'm being honest and I'm looking at these different metrics so that I can have not just my intuition helping me drive and make choices, but then some data, some evidence to help us say like, oh, well, I really enjoyed this. And even though it grew so much, like, let's put more work into this, or, well, this grew a lot, but it was so much effort. That's something that I don't want to do anymore. Or looking at things that actually shrunk. Now, there are a few things that shrunk, but then I'm looking at, oh, well, certain things I didn't make as much money and certain things I made more money, but the things where I made actually less money or did less work, I had a lot more result in. So a number isn't just a number. It is also the meaning that you put on it. So I'm sharing these just to kind of share the story and the evolution over the last year. Now, when you're doing your own reflection for your business, of course, you're coming at it from this place of gratitude, always a place of gratitude. Some of the questions that you might want to ask yourself when you're collecting the different metrics that are important to your business, you're asking yourself, what did you accomplish in 2021 that was so aligned to your purpose? What change did you create in the world through your business? Because that's part of your vision. What was easier in your business that you can be grateful for? What lessons did you learn? What were some of the experiments? Again, there's no failures. These are all experiments that we are learning from and collecting data from so that we can make things easier, so that we can make things more harmonious. And then who were your favorite collaborators? Who did you co-create with? Your collaborators, of course, would be your customers that you committed to, your business besties and your affiliates, maybe other people that you have co-created or co-authored with. Who were your favorite collaborators? You want to give gratitude to all of these things. So what did you accomplish? What change did you create in the world? What in your business was easier? What learning lessons did you take away? And who were your favorite collaborators? If you have more to add there, please let me know. I'd love to add to my list. Now, gratitude, if we want to take it a layer deeper, now we get to bring in that reflection, because now we're changing and we're alchemizing all of the little data points into a belief, a new ideal that we want to bring in 2022. Gosh, that's going to be a mouthful for the next year. So a reflection, some of the questions that you might want to ask yourself in your business is similar to that gratitude of what did you accomplish and what was easier. So if we kind of combine those two, what do you want to bring in more of in your business? Yeah, maybe it's money, but maybe there's restrictions on your money. Bring more money with less effort. Wouldn't that be just like amazing? Or bring in more collaborations, or maybe bring in more free time and rest. Now, similar to what do you want to bring more of? What do you want to do less of? I want to work less. I mean, Jeff and I and Crystal at this year end with all of the things that we've built in. Oh my gosh, I know that we have been working way too hard at the end of the year, almost at that place of burnout. And so next year, I know that I want to have less spikes in work. I want to make sure that we are scheduling things so that we are well prepared, so that we are starting our year-end offers back in September and October and not waiting till the last week of December to get this out to you. You'd think I'd learned that by now after having so many years of business. But, again, experiments. Another reflection is, how did you invest in yourself this year? Now, I remember in my beginning of my business journey, I would never invest. I would be like freaking out if I spent $300 on some kind of training. And then I took the training and I was like, oh gosh, I should have done that so much sooner, because that made my life much easier. I learned this new way of doing something, and that wow, I spent all of this time and effort like stressing about spending $300 when there was so much value returned. Now I easily invest in myself because I have really trusted in the power of investing. And, of course, I've made investments that never paid off, like courses that I've never taken. And what that tells me, it doesn't mean that it's a waste of money. I want to really hone that in. When you invest in yourself and you don't actually use that investment, all that means is that that investment wasn't right for you. Now, you don't have to beat yourself up about wasting that money. You get to learn from that and say, okay, well, next time, if I see this course that I want to take, maybe I need to chill out for a little bit, see what's already on my plate. And then if I'm still thinking about it later, then I'll go forth and buy it. Or say you invested like a ton of money and you didn't get what you thought you were going to get in it, but you still got things out of it. We always have to be looking at these silver linings. So all I'm trying to do is just to remind you that when you invest in your business, don't beat yourself up for wasting money or making mistakes. There's always a reason in your higher path when you invest in yourself. And that ability to invest in yourself, to give yourself money and growth and gifts, is your ability to say, hey, I'm worthy. I'm worthy of this. My business is worthy of receiving. So the more easily you invest in yourself, the more easily you'll get to that place of feeling really worthy. The other reflection, how did you celebrate yourself this year? Did you celebrate? Did you celebrate your birthday? Did you celebrate a launch? Did you celebrate an accomplishment? How did you celebrate? What did you do? Or did you hide and let it go unpassed? Remember, celebration is a ritual of gratitude by telling the universe, thank you. Let's make a party of this for all that I've received, because I am so grateful. So your reflection again, what do you want to bring in more of in 2022 in your business? What do you want to do less of in 2022 in your business? How did you invest in yourself, and how do you want to invest in yourself? How did you celebrate yourself? And how will you celebrate yourself? These are all of the big energies that add so much depth and meaning to your day-to-day data and details, that we want to bring all of these reflections into 2022. This is such a perfect time to do this. So let's get into the statistics of the year end for my business, New Moon Creative, which is an LLC. And we have had so many opportunities this year. So you as a listener of this podcast, The Savvy Luminary, in 2021, this is going to be in February of 2022, we'll be celebrating our 2-year birthday of the Savvy Luminary. And when I started out the Savvy Luminary, I always knew it was going to be for the long haul. I always knew that I wanted slow and steady growth. In 2021, we released 94 episodes. That is almost 2 episodes a week, for a total of, as of today, 37,106 downloads. Now, 37,106 downloads is like on the lower end of all podcasts. And you know what? I am so perfect with that. If there is 100 people that are listening to each episode, or 400 people listening to that each episode, I know that I am spreading the wisdom of the stars. So if you would like to be part of the expansion and growth of this podcast, please kindly forward this on to your business besties or share it with your friends. Now, social media. We've had a lot of growth this year, although personally for me, I've been feeling a little bit burned out with social media. And I feel that that's kind of the same. But you know what doesn't ever change is emails. Emails are really, really important for your business because there isn't another company like Meta or all these other companies owning your access to your followers. So it's always a good idea to always have some kind of email growth strategy in your business with a free opt-in. Now, with my social growth, which I'm including email, my Facebook group, my free Facebook group, the Savvy Luminary, where we share a lot of insights and kind of process some of these podcasts, as well as Instagram. I tried Twitter. I don't know. If you're a Twitter person, maybe you could help me out because I'd love to be on Twitter. And I don't know how to do that yet. I'm a Gemini rising. You'd think I'd just like get up right there and just like be chatting here and there, but I still have Saturn in that first house of my Gemini. So, well, anyway, social growth. My email so gratefully has gone up to 10%. My email list is still like under the 3,000 range. Maybe it kind of got bumped up with today's solstice with Colette Baron Reed, but you know, right around the 3,000 range, we're hovering. So that feels so special. Now, when you receive an email from me, please, 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 please put it in your inbox because sometimes as we send out a lot of emails, they can like end up in junk. But if you send a response to one of my emails, that helps tell all of the email filters that, hey, I have great content that needs to be seen. I love our emails and sharing more stories, especially since Crystal's been helping out with that. The Facebook group has grown 22% this year. I love it. It's still one of my favorite places. Like I'm hardly on Facebook. So if you try to friend me on Facebook, like I'll probably accept your friendship, but I don't hardly post anything in my personal page. If I'm on Facebook, I'm always spending time in my free Facebook group. On Mondays, we plant our intention of how we want to feel for that week. On Tuesdays, I'll often give an intention about how you can use that Mars energy to take action on your business. And then throughout the month, I'm dropping questions and new moon intentions in the group. It's such a beautiful community. I love it. So if you're not already there, hop on over. It's super fun. And then, of course, on Instagram, we've grown about 20% as well. So, you know, it's not astronomical, but it feels really, really, really good to be on Instagram. On Instagram, this is where we get to shine because we share all of our pretty graphics and we share forecasts and we share just kind of like what's on my mind. Next year, I'm really going to be focusing in on kind of the spiritual evolution and the spiritual journey that us entrepreneurs go through in our work. Now, let's look at the people that I got to serve over 2021. So you know that my favorite absolute thing to do in my business are my one-on-one Astro Brand sessions. Now, these get filled up right away because these one-on-one sessions are just magical, where we're going deep dive into people's charts and how they need to like show up in their business and be really specific and break free from this need to copy or compare. And so in 2021, I served 77 people with one-on-one Astro Brand readings with a total of 138 readings. Now, there's 360 days a year. I give readings on 2, maybe 3 days a week, and I can really maximum only do 2 or maybe 3 readings a day because I pour so much of my energy into this. So to know that I was really able to get intimate with 77 people to guide them along their brand according to their stars is just so amazing. I'm so grateful. Next year, I'll be figuring out a little bit more of a capacity issue, so I can figure out how to strike that exact right balance. And of course, I'm leaning on my business coach, Megan Hale. I'm in her mastermind flow right now, and she's helping really figure out all of the structural things for my business, because obviously I'm not much of a structure person. I'm all about big ideas, but she's helping me rein it all in and focus. Now, not only did I serve people through my Astrobrand sessions, but one of my missions is to teach astrology to others, because astrology is a tool that should be accessible to all. And so I was blessed with so many participating students this year. I had over 143 people join in different workshops, from new moon workshops to Mercury retrograde workshops and everything in between. I have to double check with that 143. I think it's 143 unique individuals, because I know just like each workshop, we had probably anywhere from 20 to 50 participants, and there was a lot this year, at least once a month. And then in my live version of Written in the Stars, How to Read Your Natal Chart for Business, when I offered that earlier this year, 65 people joined in for this mini training, a week-long mini training. I just love teaching astrologies to entrepreneurs. You know, whether you already know astrology really well or you're new to astrology, I'm showing people practical and strategic ways they can actually use astrology in their work to be more empowered. And so 65 people joined for that beautiful workshop. And of those 65 people, 30 people decided to join in with my 4-week intensive, Star Powered, where we were going through positioning our business together in this small group, a 4-week intensive. Now, next year, these 30 people in Star Powered Intensive are going to be invited to continue with me as I open up my Astrobrand certification. So if you are in business and you really want to learn how to use astrology for your clients to position their brand and to, figure out the what, the why, the how, and the who of a brand, I'll be offering this in 2022. I'm so excited to be able to focus in more on teaching. I just love teaching. You might also know that in my business, we started off as a web and brand design firm, and we still do that in the back end. We hardly ever talk about it. It's always through secret word of mouth that people find us. This year, we completed 5 web projects and 7 brand identity projects. Now, this is a lot less web and brand projects than we have done in previous years. However, the projects that we have completed this year, the results were magnificent. Like, we just had people sharing all of the goals and all the expectations exceeded. And so in the new year, we are kind of capping again our web and our branding projects to serve a small amount of people, because we pour so much love and effort. We have an illustrator. Of course, we have Jeff as our web designer. We have Crystal as our copywriter. So you are getting, if you work with us with a web or a brand project, you're getting the full gamut. And these web and brand projects don't take years to complete. They take months to complete, because we know exactly how to position all of your brand elements, because you got it. I'm looking at your chart. Of course, there's a lot of speaking engagements this year. I mentioned earlier, I just finished my Solstice, the frosting on the proverbial cupcake of the year with my winter solstice with Colette Baron-Reid. I also had the wonderful opportunities to speak with as the resident astrologer of Kate Northrup's Origin, with Asha Frost's sacred membership that she has currently put on pause, with Shirin Eskandani's The Alchemy Collective. I've been on the Mind Witchery podcast with Natalie Miller twice. And remember, we have just co-written a book for new and full moon rituals for entrepreneurs and change makers, which the ebook is almost all edited and ready to go. So make sure you get on the wait list for that. I've been on Teresa Reed's podcast, Astrology Bites. I've been on Mindy Caniss's podcast, The Lucrative Society. I've been online with Natalie Rogers on her Mystic Mondays with Femme Tarot. I've been in Kristen Stewart's collective with the Power Church. And I've also been a speaker with Elise Preston's School of Soulful Abundance. It's been so wonderful to be able to be a guest and share the wisdom of the stars with all of their communities. And then writing. Oh my gosh, we have written so much. I was trying to figure out exactly how many pages that we've written. Well, I know that we've created over 32 monthly forecasts for all of the places where I write forecasts for, we write one and then we change things up, but that really amounted to 32 monthly forecasts in 2021. I mean, these are like novels. I'm probably writing encyclopedias. I've co-written one book this year with the new and full moon rituals for entrepreneurs and change makers with Natalie Miller. And then, of course, our year-end offer, that report of 2022 in the stars. I'm really looking forward to fine-tuning my book, Star Powered Brand, and adding another chapter and also doing a recorded audio version of the book. So this year, investments. These are another things that I track. How I invested in myself and my business. In July, I took the entire month off, although I did still work. So who am I kidding? There's never a time to take off, but that's going to change. I invested in myself with a mastermind in Megan Hill's Flow. I invested in so many astrology classes and trainings, from my astrology mentor, Milada Sachek, to Chris Brennan's Hellenistic Astrology, to the Astrology Hub's trainings. There's so many different classes that I took over 2021. I invested in instructional design with Mariana Pena, who is helping me create my certification right now. And she helps just kind of really fine-tune the learning journey for my students and my courses with her beautiful instructional design. I am so close to finishing my trademark for my Astro brand with Kimberly Bennett, and working on the certification process and trademark with Kristen Roberts, both wonderful attorneys. And then I invested in myself with 2 brand photo shoots with Hillary Ungson of Hillary Jean Photography. Oh my gosh, I couldn't have been more happy with these amazing branded photos that I feel she just captures my essence and my shine. So those are all the ways that I invested in my business and invested in myself. And, this is also that I can share more with you. So next year, what I have to look forward to, I kind of hinted at, I'll be launching my Astro brand certification in mid-2022, right around Aries season. So if you are interested in learning how to use astrology for your clients in your business, make sure you keep following me on social media and keep an ear out for when that will come up again. So Written in the Stars and Star Powered are prerequisites for this certification. I'll be offering them again in the winter. I'm going to be investing in more public relations. I have been a little bit afraid of investing in public relations, of really being visible and being seen, but I'm going to be getting over that fear. And I'm going to be investing in my team more, in Jeff and Crystal and whoever comes our way. So this is going to be so exciting. I'm so just looking forward to 2022, and my heart is full in all of these highlights, is not to mention all of the stresses that have happened this year. There was a lot of stress, but I'm not going to go into all of those things that I've overcome. So as you are reflecting on your own business, start to measure those statistics that are important to you, and don't judge growth for small numbers. And also don't judge, things that shrink, because sometimes those are even better when you get more focused. So figure out what you want to collect your statistics on, figure out how you want to invest in yourself and what you invested in yourself this year, and figure out what are the big things that you want to bring into the new year. So thank you so much, Luminary. It's just been amazing to share this space with you and for allowing me to share my year-end review. I hope that it inspired you somehow to take that step, to leap into the uncertainty, but to choose hope, to choose to see yourself and trust in yourself and your intuition. Thank you, Luminary. It's been wonderful. So I'll be talking to you in 2022, next year. All right. Love you. Bye. If you love this podcast, please consider doing me a favor and heading over to Apple iTunes and leaving me a rating and review. Your rating and review helps this humble podcast get seen and found by more listeners like you. Please share the love.